So you want to get jacked and you hear random things about protein powder here and there and you wonder, why is this so confusing? I just want to make gains, get a ripped six pack, and optimize my health. Why does this have to be so hard? Well, I'm a certified personal trainer, nutrition coach, and I've been bodybuilding for the last 2 years, and I've also fallen victim to believing the random things that the internet told me to do regarding my protein intake. Today, we'll use the power of science to debunk 8 protein myths that are costing you time, money, and most importantly, gains. Myth number 1. Hey man, so you need to eat immediately after your workout. Like within 2 seconds of your workout finishing, you gotta eat because that's the anabolic window. If you don't, then you're gonna lose all your gains. Old school bodybuilders used to believe there was an anabolic window immediately after your workout where your body is in a hyper anabolic state. Allegedly, the anabolic window only lasts 30 minutes. This is when people would rush home or have a protein shake literally after they finish their workout and down it real quick in fear that they weren't going to maximize muscle building progress. Scientists have found that anabolic window is much larger than we thought it was. It actually surrounds the 5 to 6 hours around your training window. If you consume a pre-workout meal maybe 1 or 2 hours before your workout with high amounts of carbs and protein, it isn't a big deal and you don't necessarily have to get another meal right after your workout. However, if you do train fasted, then the need for a meal quickly after a workout becomes a whole lot more important. Myth number 2. Hey guys, it's OllieXFit here, your favorite fitness influencer, and just wanted to let you know that I partnered with a company that has a special type of whey protein. It's a 100% pure isolate whey protein, Tom Cruise, bathroom, kitchen counter protein, 100 isolate, America's #1 brand. Isolated, micronized protein powder. Links in the description. There's different types of protein powder, different sources of protein powder, and you can argue that plant protein is not considered a high quality protein compared to animal protein. But there's no brand that has a special type of whey protein or a special type of casein protein or a magic blend that's gonna give you maximized muscle gain compared to another blend. Words like 100% pure, natural, micronized, isolate, ultra, gold standard, America's #1 brand, these are all just marketing terms that are fluff and don't mean jack. There are hundreds of different protein powders on the market, and there's 4 common scams that companies use that you need to avoid. One of them is nitrogen spiking. When companies have their protein levels measured in their product, nitrogen content is usually what gets tested. However, companies found out all they have to do is increase the nitrogen content of the protein powder to make it seem like their product has more protein than it actually does. You can avoid this by looking into the ingredients list of your protein powder. If it has single amino acids like glutamine, taurine, glycine, threonine, isoleucine, valine, leucine, or any other non-protein compounds like creatine, betaine, or beta-alanine, they're not being nice to you and just being like, oh yeah, let's just include these for the customer's sake. They're trying to save money and scam you. If you want more information on how to pick the best protein powder, how to avoid the 4 common scams, the 6-step checklist when looking for a protein powder to fit your needs, I have a free video on my channel that goes over all the key points and summary and everything you need to know. Myth number 3. I eat meat all day. I don't eat any veggies. The carnivore diet is the way to go. You can't become a bodybuilder or even build muscle effectively on a vegan diet. It's not possible. You'll become malnourished. It's a subpar diet for all humans. Nimai Delgado, natural bodybuilder, vegan. Remember David Goggins' 135-mile desert race, Badwater 135? Scott Jurek is an ultra runner who got first place in that race twice. Vegan. If you literally take your phone out right now, bro, you're probably watching this on your phone. If you Google the world's #1 tennis player, Novak, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he's vegan. Well, 2 plant proteins, there are 2 myths that are kind of true, kind of not when regarding protein quality. Number 1 is you'll hear that plant proteins lack the essential amino acids. Number 2 is that plant proteins are not bioavailable. So there's many different types of plant protein sources that include legumes, grains, vegetables, and more. All plants have all 9 essential amino acids, so they're not lacking in any one of them, but each specific plant protein is usually limiting in 1 essential amino acid. For this reason, most plant proteins are considered incomplete protein sources. For example, rice protein has low amounts of lysine and pea protein has low amounts of methionine. But when you combine rice and pea protein together, you form a complementary protein that contains an adequate balance and amount of all 9 essential amino acids. As long as you eat a variety of plant sources of protein throughout the day and eat at least 0.8 grams of protein per pound body weight, you're going to ensure you're meeting all your protein needs to build muscle. Dr. Eric Helms, who is a scientist, coach, and athlete, and one of the authors of the Mass Research Review, concluded some of the following statements. If you're consuming plenty of total protein with sensible protein distribution, no glaring shortcomings for any particular essential amino acid. Vegan and omnivorous diets seem to support hypertrophy to a similar degree. Take that, carnivores. Myth number 4. You can only absorb 30 grams of protein in one sitting. If you eat more than that, you're gonna lose all your gains immediately and you might as well not even work out. I remember when I first heard this, I was overstressing. I was like, oh my God, I gotta eat 6 meals per day and I gotta time my protein intake to be perfect. And I told my girlfriend we're gonna get dinner at 6 and now she's gonna break up with me and oh my God, I'm never gonna be jacked. I'm never gonna build muscle and everything's going to shit, bro. The whole world is burning down. This completely kills any chance of sticking to your diet for 99% of people, and it might scare you away in the beginning of your journey to aesthetics. One of the leading researchers in muscle hypertrophy, Dr. Brad Schoenfeld, concluded, beyond a certain dose, amino acids will be oxidized for energy rather than used for muscle building. However, evidence indicates that the threshold appears to be higher than the common claim of 20 to 30 grams in a sitting. Dr. Eric Helms from the Mass Research Review also concluded, it seems that 3 to 6 meals per day is an ideal meal frequency range for supporting hypertrophy with no clear and consistent advantage to being on the lower or higher end of that range. The 3 most important things to ask yourself for muscle growth are the following. Number 1, did I eat the correct amount of total daily calories according to my goals? Number 2, did I eat the correct amount of total daily protein? Number 3, am I following a solid training plan while training hard with amazing form? If the answer is yes to all those questions, that's what it's going to take to get 80 to 90% of the results that you're looking for. As long as you're not messing up all the other smaller factors like protein frequency, timing, quality, etc., and you're eating 1 meal a day every single day and you're getting terrible sleep and you're getting all your protein from rice, you should be fine. Myth number 5. If you eat too much protein, it's gonna make you fat. That's what this one woman on TikTok did, and she actually ended up gaining weight. If you eat too much protein, it will make you fat. If you eat too much carbs, that will also make you fat. If you eat too much fats, it will also make you fat. If you drink too much alcohol, it will also make you fat. Any macronutrient or food group that's consumed in excess will make you fat. Yes, protein, carbs, and fats all get metabolized a little bit differently throughout your body. If you start eating a lower carb and higher fat diet, then your body is going to switch from carb as its fuel source and it's primarily going to burn fat for energy. But this fat is dietary fat. The keto and low carb community take this way too far sometimes and they're like, oh my God, you'll never be fat. You'll turn into a fat burning machine. Your body is just going to burn the fat from your diet, not your body fat. And if you're eating less carbs or no carbs, then you're probably going to consume a whole lot less calories. And when your body doesn't have any calories to burn for energy, then it's going to go start using your body fat and break that down. But there's nothing special about a keto diet or low carb diet for fat loss. You could even say it's counterproductive to muscle gain because carbs are what gives you energy to refuel and recover for your workout. At the end of the day, it just comes down to calories in, calories out. I know that's crazy, and I know you want to believe that there's some special carnivore diet or vegan diet or paleo diet or keto diet or some special biohack that's going to make you lose fat. Guys, calories in, calories out. I hate to say it, but it's that basic. All right, myth number 6. You need to buy EAA and BCAA supplements to make gains. Amino acids are essential for muscle growth. Your muscle is literally made up of amino acids. Go ahead and use my link in the description to buy these supplements. Protein is literally made up of amino acids. That's what makes protein protein. There are 20 different amino acids that make up over 10,000 plus proteins throughout your body. 11 of them are considered non-essential because your body can synthesize them on its own. 9 of these amino acids are considered essential because you need to get them from your diet on a daily basis. 3 out of 9 of these essential amino acids are called branch chain amino acids because of their branch-like structure. These include leucine, isoleucine, and valine. If you're already eating this high protein intake and then you add BCAA or EA supplements on top of that, it's essentially like paying for a $250 car detail where they do the whole shebang. They do a wash and wax, make sure everything's damn near perfect. And you're like, you know what? I think I want to go get a car wash right after this detail is done. That doesn't make any sense. What is that car wash gonna do that the car detail already didn't take care of? Is there any truth to EA or BCAA supplements ever for any person? If you're a vegetarian or vegan and you want to be 100% optimal with your muscle mass gain, then adding a BCAA supplement on top of a high quality protein intake can help. If you're training faster because you think fasted cardio has a special effect on fat loss, then I would suggest double checking the science because there's no science to back that up. But if you like to train fasted because you like the mental clarity or training on an empty stomach, then EA supplements can help in that case too. However, keep this in mind, if you're already eating a high protein intake throughout the day, 20 grams of protein per pound body weight, and you're spreading that evenly across 3 to 6 meals throughout the day, then adding an EA supplement on top of that is not going to help a whole bunch. As long as you consume a post-workout meal after, you're going gonna get enough total protein content, total essential amino acid content, it's not really a big deal. It might provide a small, insignificant, minor benefit. Myth number 7, high protein intake is terrible for health. It's gonna cause a whole variety of problems and you should avoid it at all costs. Okay, is there any truth behind these claims? Protein does put increased stress on the kidneys, and that's a problem for people who have kidney issues, but in otherwise healthy people with no kidney issues, your kidney is going to be able to filter this just fine. Urea does get created as a waste product, but if you have healthy kidneys and you're drinking enough water, all that urea is just going to get excreted out through your urine. And yeah, certain sources of protein can be unhealthy for you. If you consume all your protein from processed meats, processed foods, artificial protein bars, then all of those in combination can have a negative impact on your health. But it's not the protein that's damaging your health, but the other aspects of those food sources that are also unhealthy for you. It's known that people who exercise more have an increased need for protein consumption. Harvard Medical School responded to a question, how much protein is too much? They said, it's hard to provide a specific answer since so much is still uncertain and the experts themselves don't agree. However, for the average person who is not an elite athlete or heavily involved in bodybuilding, it's probably best to aim for no more than 2 grams per kilogram. 2 grams per kilogram is about 0.9 grams per pound. Even if you're trying to build muscle, the majority of research says there's no bigger benefit than eating protein intake that's above 0.7 to 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. You're probably going to be well within that range. Some people are going to experience minor issues like constipation, gas, bloating, so that's something you want to consider. I've been eating close to 1 gram protein per pound of body weight for the last 2 to 3 years, and I've never experienced something like this besides one time when I was in a calorie deficit and I had a low fiber intake. I experienced some constipation. I had it for about 2 days. Took a fiber supplement, and everything was cool after that. Myth number 8. You need to eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight at all times, no matter what. Even more. Sometimes bump it up to 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Otherwise, you're just not going to gain muscle. The leading researchers in muscle hypertrophy and the best peer-reviewed research we have to date shows no clear benefit than going above 0.73 grams per pound of body weight or 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight. I like to round up to 0.8 grams because it serves as a safe daily target. Even if you don't hit 0.8 grams and you're a few grams off a few days per week, it won't matter because we gave ourselves a little bit of room to make error. The only time I increase my protein intake above that to 1 gram per pound is when I'm on a cut and I get close to about 15% body fat and I want to lose that extra 10 to 15 pounds. At that point, your body really wants to hold onto the excess fat that you have, and it's going to start breaking down muscle for energy. So at that point, we want to increase the protein intake to supply more amino acids to our blood, so we have an increased chance of preserving that muscle tissue that we built. Okay, and you might be thinking, what's the big deal between 0.8 grams and 1 gram per pound? Is it really a big deal that you have to debunk this myth, Ollie? You know, I thought the same thing, and then I decreased my protein intake from 165 grams per day down to 132 grams. And I realized how strict I was being with my diet for way too long, because sometimes you go with friends or you go to a restaurant or you just haven't hit your total protein intake for the day and you're like, oh dude, I gotta make sure I get my protein in this last 30 grams of protein, let me down a protein shake. Or you're forced to choose something off the menu that has a high protein content because you haven't hit 1 gram protein per pound. It can cause unnecessary stress and headaches that doesn't even need to exist because you keep believing that you need 1 gram of protein per pound when 0.8 grams is more than enough. The difference between going down from 1 gram per pound down to 0.8 is usually about 30 to 40 grams, which is a lie. You might not even need to buy a protein shake or a protein powder supplement or cause unnecessary stress. If you're just learning about all this stuff about muscle building and protein intake, things to do with your diet, and it's really overwhelming, and you're like, dude, I really haven't made a whole lot of gains, and you know, this MyFitnessPal tracking nutrition calories, it's kind of hard. I don't know how to balance this out. Trust me when I say that is completely normal. I always say it took me 7 years to get 1 or 2 years worth of progress. Everyone says that you could gain 10 pounds of muscle in your first year of bodybuilding, or you can lose 2 pounds of fat every single week. But what they don't take into account is a fundamental learning curve when it comes to learning something new. I know the position you're in right now. You step on the scale, it's not moving in the direction you want it to. You look at your MyFitnessPal history, maybe for the past month, and you see that you're supposed to eat 2,000 calories every single day with this protein intake. And sometimes you have 1,900 calories logged in, and sometimes you give into your binge eating and you get 3,000 calories for that entire day. You're like, fuck, dude, I'm messing on my diet. I'm not staying consistent. I'm not making the progress that I should. You've been bulking for the past 3 months, but you barely notice any changes on your body. And you've been gaining body fat maybe a little bit too quickly than you normally want. This is part of the journey, man. You can't, I'm not trying to get all sentimental here, but you can't beat yourself up and let yourself get down for that because you expect this perfect progress to go in a linear line up like this and gain 10 pounds of muscle in your first year and have the perfect lean bulking diet. I've been through the dirty bulks. I've been through the fat loss phases. I've been through the ups and downs. That's completely part of it. That's part of fundamental learning curve that these fitness influencers don't tell you about. I've been trying to get jacked for 7 years. When I was in my parents' garage, I was doing HIIT workouts. I ordered P90X3 and I started doing it in my garage and I started doing all this cardio and I actually lost a bunch of weight. Then I got fat again and then I got sick of it again. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a change. I'm gonna eat 1,000 calories per day, completely diet super hard. I'm gonna run 4 miles every single day. And I did that until I lost a whole bunch of fat. But I lost a bunch of muscle too. And it literally looked like I was a cancer patient. I looked frail. I looked skinny. I looked scrawny. I looked weak. Then I got into weightlifting and I started gaining muscle and I actually put on a decent amount of muscle mass. But I was trying to optimize every single thing and every single biohack and I dirty bulked way too quickly and then I tried to lose fat super quickly and it was like I was running around in circles and I got nowhere. It just ended up making like small amount of results. And now I'm at the point where I no longer have binge eating issues. I have my cheat days here and there, but it's not to an uncontrollable level. I'm consistent with my diet. I'm consistent with my workouts. The days I don't feel like working out, there's no days that I skip now. I go even if I don't want to. And now is the time where I'm noticing the most progress. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, overstressed, overworked with all this new information and your diet and your workout and you're like, dude, this is a whole bunch. I want to get an aesthetic body. I want to get a six pack, but I don't know if it's possible. Dude, you're in the right spot. That is where everyone starts off when they're on their journey to aesthetics. The journey of 1,000 miles can only begin with one step. So just look one step forward and focus on what did you improve today? Did you learn something new about yourself? Did you learn something new about health and fitness? Did you push one more rep than you did last week? Did you lift with better form? Oftentimes we only look at the things that are clearly measurable, like how we look in the mirror or the weight that we're lifting or the number on a scale. But there's many measures of progress that are not measurable. You fucking got this, man. There's no rush.